Coffee Chat with Lindsay and Nili.
Hello, y'all.
Tuesday.
And it's not me for once.
I know. Okay, so last month, Lindsay had all kinds of scheduling conflicts that, life was more important than getting on the live stream on time. And I gave her a hard time for it. And then here I am having my own scheduling conflicts. So we're here on Wednesday this week, and we will be here on Wednesday next week also. So Chris Bear, put a note on your calendar because he was here yesterday getting ready to join in on our live stream that was not. And so, yeah, next week also will be Wednesday.
Yep. Turnabout's fair play. So also really quickly, if you were over on the Keto Chow live stream where they just gave us like all the fun information that just dropped, Chris Bear says that officially gingerbread single packets are in stock in a few minutes. So if you love some gingerbreads, like hold your horses for like 2 more minutes and then go check on whether or not it's managed.
And you can already get the big bags.
Okay. So, okay.
You're a gingerbread lover. Why aren't you already ordering big bags? You probably already did.
I have not tried gingerbread yet.
Oh, I have, but it's been quite a while.
Okay.
Obviously, it was sometime the last time it came around.
Sure. I also have not ever tried the pumpkin or the
pumpkin spice caramel.
Pumpkin. I can never remember the order of those 3 words. That is so hard for my brain. Yes, I have not yet tried that one. Eggnog.
That one is excellent.
Eggnog is my jam in the wintertime. Actually, that's not true. Eggnog is my jam any time of year. So I am looking forward to placing my order of eggnog in a big bag ASAP.
Yes. All right. So Purple Loving Nona is here and says it's her first time on one of our lives.
Well, hello, Purple Loving Nona. Didn't she just recently? Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't she just recently retire? Am I?
That's right.
Remembering Purple Loving Nona with that detail. Okay. So I wanted to address something here.
Okay.
You see me in a different background. My lighting is less natural than it usually is. And that is because last week I did spit out all the coffee unintentionally and therefore had to place some boundaries for myself. And since that time, I have not been taking coffee into my sunroom, but I still want coffee because it is a coffee chat. So I brought my, this is actually the right way to look. My coffee cup has been loved. So I brought my coffee to this room to see if I can manage to not spill. I can definitely not get it on like fabrics that need to be like cleaned with a steam cleaner in this space because there's no fabric in front of me. So unless I do something super wonky and turn around backwards, we're going to be okay.
All right. I mean, and we could just coat everything in waterproof, covers. If you need that, 60s. I mean, that's what you do when you have messy dogs or messy children, and we could do the same for messy Lindsay.
Yep. That's how that works. I actually debated, should I get a big plastic tablecloth and just put it around my neck and then have armholes for it coming through and then have it be a big basin in front of me so that it will catch any of my mess.
Yeah.
That seemed a little bit prohibitive with movement. So I decided to not go that direction.
Yeah. I feel like my life is a balance of figuring out ways to keep things clean, but also like getting the inner peace that I need to be okay with things not being clean. Because it's like, you don't want to go too far one way or the other because you can just get, super crazy. Everything has to be clean and then it's really stressful.
Yes.
But then at the same time, you don't want to go so far the other direction that you just live in a pigsty.
Yes. I don't want to wallow.
It's a delicate balance.
But I want to be able to breathe.
Yes. Yes. And like teaching the children to be, cleanly and take care of things, but then also like having the realization that they are children.
Yep.
And that they are not OCD adults.
Yeah. I can definitely feel that deep in my sternum. Like, I like the idea of taking care of what we have without trying to lean heavily into perfectionist tendencies. Like, we can do these things, and we can also be totally fine if it's not perfect.
Yes. Yes. And it's like it's like a war inside where you have to like teach the two wolves to be friends. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Donna D says this is her first time on our live as
Welcome,
well.
Donna D.
So wonderful. Purple Love and Nona is retired day 3. That you're like in the honeymoon phase. It's just like glorious.
Prepare for your life to get busier than it's ever been.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works for me. As soon as I like let go of commitments, I'm like, oh, I have so much time. I can commit to all of these things.
You have this much time, this much extra time. It's a big old goose egg.
Let's see. And Sing It is here.
Hello.
Recipes to have eggnog all year round. Bone broth today. That is an excellent choice. Okay. Before these back here melt, because I made them the way that I love making them. And by them, I mean the new keto chow core flavors. I'm mirrored and I can't do things. Woo! I have not tasted them yet. I have had them sitting and I have been admiring the beautiful new packaging and I have been daydreaming about how wonderful they are. And I have not tasted them yet. And I'm going to taste them here on the live. Okay, first off, one of these is strawberry and one of these is vanilla. And I put.
And they have no color in them.
And they have no added color. So a lot of people love that. I mean, it's fun to drink fluorescent colored drinks. I mean, there's a reason people do it.
Yeah.
But let's keep it simple and have them, not have anything extra added.
I do understand the theory behind it. I also fully appreciate that these flavors are not hindered when there's no color to indicate their flavor.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, like I can just go, oh yeah, that's strawberry. Like
I know it hits you in the nose like a punch. It's awesome.
Pungently delicious. Pungent sounds like a bad word.
It is
like
not.
A bad smell, but that's not what we're saying. It's like very strong flavor.
Yes.
No. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead. Which one should I try first?
Okay. So personally, this is how I did it. I tried vanilla first and then strawberry because the vanilla smelled less strong to me than the strawberry.
Okay.
So I didn't want to mess up the palate.
Yeah, the strawberry could overpower because obviously there's going to be vanilla in the strawberry as well, probably. Huh?
Point of clarification. Are you trying the sweetened with stevia or the unsweetened?
Sweetened with stevia. Yes, sweetened with stevia.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to tell your story?
Once upon a time, there was a girl.
I wouldn't want to embarrass you if you didn't want it to be known.
So if you will go and watch my video I posted today, sharing about the new flavors, you will understand how Lindsay's brain operates a little bit better. Basically, attention to detail is not my strong suit, no matter how hard I try. It's not my strong suit. And so I may or may not have not realized that there were indeed 4 new flavors or 4 new additions to the core line. So we didn't just double the core line. I guess technically we did double it because there were 2 unsweet sweet, and then we doubled it. So I guess
we tripled it.
No math,
because there's chocolate.
Right. So now it's 1/3, but instead it's
not just doubled to 2 flavors on sweet and sweet. It's 3 flavors on sweet and sweet. So it's tripled. Right?
Yeah.
It increased 200%.
It increased 200%, which means it doubled. It didn't triple.
No. When you double something, if you double 2, it makes 4. But now we actually have 6.
Right. We're homeschool moms. Look at us go.
Okay. Anyways, so I get a message from Lindsay on Marco Polo, and she's like, I think
Hey.
it's not that bad batch because it doesn't taste sweet.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like, I can't, because like vanilla to me has a natural sweetness to it. So when I smell
uh-huh.
when I smell vanilla, like it tasted super faintly sweet. And I was like, okay, it's there. Okay, I can smell it. So it means like my olfactory sense is receiving it. And then I was like, the strawberry is like sweetness in my mouth compared to the vanilla. And I was like,
So you tried the sweet strawberry and you tried the unsweet vanilla, and you're like, why is the vanilla so bad?
no, it tasted good to me. It did. I was like,
Not sweet.
that is wild. I mean, and I've been reduced, like, I don't drink coffee with sweetness to it. I tend to appreciate bitter flavors, and the smell of the vanilla was sweet to my nose. And so I tasted like a minor sweetness to it. And I went back and I tried the one that is sweetened with stevia, and it was weird the way it shifted. And I don't know that I can say like one is better or worse than the other. Like trying it without sweetener, I I feel like the vanilla flavor came through like a powerhouse compared to like sweetness kind of like dulled the vanilla a touch. I'm sorry. I am totally
All right.
taking away from your opportunity to
No,
try
no,
them and know for
this is
yourself.
like building the suspense, so it's great. More people like
Lynette's
and
here.
where it says 1 to 3 is a 200% increase.
So
Agreed.
my math was right. It doubled.
1 to 2 is a 100% increase, and that is doubled. A 200% increase would be tripling.
The result is double. The result of adding it all together.
You added double the original amount, which makes 3.
Yes.
Triple.
Okay, taste them, woman.
Okay, so
No. You're not reading comments. You're tasting now.
Blaze asked what fat did I use, and that is important information.
Oh,
so
valid.
I use butter. And I like using the Wagyu tallow in the chocolate core, and I probably will do that in these ones as well. But I wanted to compare these ones to the other vanilla cream and strawberry cream. And just see, how different they are from the original, because I love the original. Okay, here we go. Vanilla.
It's happening, people. I love that you used the yellow straw for vanilla and the pink or the red straw for strawberry. Like it was like almost planned.
It was planned. I did that. Okay. It is like, I think I know because of the stevia tastes different than sucralose. It just does.
It does.
So because of that, I would be able to like tell the difference between this and the original.
Mm-hmm.
But like the vanilla cream flavor is definitely like still there. And I love the vanilla cream flavor. I think it's really good. So yeah, definitely very, very good.
Yes.
I think the vanilla is going to be great for playing with and making flavors.
For sure.
I need Levi here. Maybe I should bring him in a minute. Because like, the chocolate is great. And there are a lot of like chocolate variations you can do. But to have a vanilla, that's like a blank slate, basically.
Oh, for sure. But to my palate, the vanilla was like strong. So for me, I was like, ooh, that gives me a solid vanilla flavor. Like it's not wimpy in my taste buds.
It's really good.
So.
All right. Number 1. Number 2, strawberry. And I already like smell the crunch berries again.
Oh.
Like that's how I described the original strawberry cream.
Right.
Like crunch berry strawberry.
The milk after you have crunch berries. Yep.
I'd say it's just as good as the original strawberry cream. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm partial to strawberry flavors. Strawberries and chocolates, those are divine together for my palate. So the fact that strawberry cream of core was definitely my winner. It didn't even, I don't know, just the strawberry flavor is just so pungent and so good. And also pungent comes from the Latin pugno or pugno, which means I fight. It fights my senses.
Wow. It really does. It's fighting my senses right now in the best possible way.
I know, right? You're like, you can
Yeah,
knock me out
really
anytime,
good.
Strawberry.
Okay. So I'm going dairy free for September. And yeah, I have a Wellness Wednesday coming later today where I explain all of that. And
Yeah.
so seriously, I cannot believe the timing on this because
So perfect.
I can't believe it. Like that was one of the biggest reasons why I really was resisting going dairy free because I'm like, I've been just enjoying the keto chow so much with the family and it's like
Yeah.
chocolate is great, but just one flavor, like, and here you go. I mean, they did it just for me.
Well, and we have been like really pestering Chris about more core flavors
Well,
and
that's the only way to get anything done is to pester Chris.
I mean, that or else just buy all of them so that all of their data shows that people love it and must have more.
That's my idea.
Like data is really where it's clutch.
Very true.
I mean, for me, keto chow core chocolate with stevia is hands down my favorite flavor of all keto chow to date. Like this is my bread and butter. And then my second is blueberry pie. And even with all the new flavors, even with all of the fun stuff, even with fall seasonal flavors coming out, I cannot fathom this not staying in my number one space on my scorecard. So that's just me. I could be wrong. Oh, if you want to get things done, you really got to talk to Miriam.
Oh,
that actually sounds that shakes out.
She's probably the best at pestering Chris of all of us.
I mean, I feel like she does have maximum authority over bugging him.
It's in the marriage vows.
8 months, Chris said. Did you see that? Chris said they've been working on vanilla cream and strawberry cream core for like 8 months. Which
when did the chocolate come out?
Which tells me that there is a strong possibility that they have already R&D'd other flavors and are just tweaking them to perfection and then working with manufacturing to make it a reality for us.
All right, so Blaze is asking if I will still do butter when going dairy free, and the answer is yes. I'm going to try keeping butter in. When I went dairy free, however long ago, I went like 6 months, and I cut out butter. I mean, is life even worth living? Seriously. And I never was able to really nail down if it causes me any issue or not. And so I'm going to keep it in this time and see what happens.
Sure.
And I'm very hopeful.
I did both of all three, because I didn't taste strawberry unsweetened. I didn't taste, that was the only one that I didn't taste. I did all of mine with the Wagyu tallow, and I tell you what, as much as it just makes everything feel like a donut shop. It makes this taste like chocolate glazed donuts. It makes vanilla cream smell like donut holes.
Okay.
I was amazed because, like they used to fry donuts in tallow, and it wasn't until like peanut oil and canola oil and all those other PUFAs started popping up that they started doing it in that because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
But is there anything better than tallow
I need to
fried?
try these with the Wagyu. That's next on the agenda.
So I have all of my home beef tallow, like my rendered beef tallow, and I opted not to use home rendered because it definitely, well, first of all, it wasn't an opened quart. But then also I was like, that one does have more of a beefy snuff. Like whenever you sniff it, it has a slight beefiness, because I don't take just the prime, like suet and render just like the best of the fat. I render it all. So we shall see how it goes.
Yes. Okay. So my big news, besides the keto chow core, is that I just put an order in for half of a cow. I'm super excited.
I can tell. are you going to take the bones and all the fat?
I'm gonna try to. Okay, so I ordered a quarter of a cow a few years ago, and it ended up being kind of a bad experience. A really bad experience, actually, because first of all, I requested the organs and the bones and the fat. They gave me none. Like, no,
Mm,
not anything. Like, not
yeah.
even like, "No, sorry, we can't do that." It's like I expected it to be there when I picked up, and it wasn't there. And they're like, "No,
Yeah.
it's gone." But it's mine. It's mine. It's mine.
Right.
You can throw away my things. And then
Yeah.
also the beef tasted horrible. It was so
Mm.
bad. And it like really soured me on like because that's a big commitment, like it was only a quarter that time, so it wasn't as big as some, but still that's a lot of money.
It's
And
a lot of
it's
money
so
to fork
horrible.
over at one time. You don't think about it
Yes.
if you go to like a grocery store and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm paying, between like probably $6 and $15 per pound of beef, depending on what type of beef you're getting. Like, you're going in and it's a little bit expensive, but it feels easier to say, like, I can buy 10 pounds of this right now for like average maybe $70. Or I can buy like, I don't know how much beef we actually got. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
you got a whole cow, right?
Yeah, we did.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
I look at the hole in my freezer because we have an upright freezer and all of it was completely like packed in with our whole beef. And then all of my fat and my bones were just loose, frozen in boxes. So I had to go in and vacuum seal all of that myself.
Mhm.
I could have paid them to do that, but I was like, that's silliness.
We
I'm
can do
just
it.
not
We
going
can
to do
do
that.
it. Yeah.
So I go through and I package all of mine. So I've actually got like bones and fat in all of the freezers,
Mm.
plus the whole cow in the big deep freeze. But there's like a hole where my ground beef is, where I've just like been pulling, and I'm like, how much have we already eaten? And we've had this thing for like a month, and
Yeah. So
we've
sad.
only done one steak night so far. We're trying very hard to like make the steaks and the roasts not get just like gobbled up first, because the next time
Yeah.
we can get a
You
cow,
gotta, like,
we don't know.
bury it. Yeah.
And it was
We
so
would totally do that, just, like, eat all the good stuff first. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm super excited. Um, we our big new freezer that's
yeah,
like a
the one that can
coffin.
hold a body.
Yeah. Multiple, actually. It's, like, half full, like, we kinda tried to work through a lot of stuff, and, so it's, like, half full, and then we got another little, chest freezer given to us, and so it's just sitting there not even plugged in yet, and I'm like, "We can do it." Yeah. So, super excited.
That's awesome. That is super
I wanna
awesome.
see, he wants to see Jared carrying around a whole cow.
Yep, that would be pretty rad. We wound up with 4 very large coolers on a trailer that we hauled back. And the butcher that our farmer uses was about an hour away. And it was at the height of summer. It's like mid-July. So we're just thinking, oh dear, are we going to come home and have like all of this defrosted meat that we're going to have to like cook fast? Oh my gosh, what is going to
That would
happen?
be
And Jared, he
horrible.
was,
Yeah, that's the worst thing about getting that much meat is, like, the anxiety that the cow is
yeah.
gonna
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
our
mean,
kid's
and
gonna leave the door to the freezer open. Oh,
oh my
man.
goodness,
Agreed.
that's where I think like having a couple of different smaller freezers would probably be the smarter choice, and having
Yeah.
them on different breakers so that it's like, okay, if one breaker trips, the rest of them are going to be okay, but that's
Yes,
just not
also
what we have.
the chest freezers, there's not as much risk of the door swinging open. I mean,
Absolutely.
it could still go
Absolutely.
down and, like, something could keep it from closing all the way,
Yeah.
but it's just not the same level of
Hmm.
anxiety there, so that
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Lynette says that she ordered a half a cow last year and had to cancel because the freezer was too full. That's the worst. That's
We
when
have
you
some
just buy
friends.
another freezer.
I think that buying another freezer is actually the best choice possible.
I mean, seriously.
Because if you've
Oh,
got,
yeah.
you gotta have some space, extra space.
Yes. Chris is saying chest freezers do well in power outages. Yeah, if you don't open those things, they'll stay very cold.
Yeah.
Great.
I wonder
Oh,
if they make.
did you hear that?
I think your sign doesn't work.
Well, they're not knocking. I
Valid.
I showed my sign that I made for the door, which is just a paper plate where I wrote on the back in red, "Do not knock."
No knocking.
And he wasn't knocking, he was just screaming, so that's different. It's all good.
Fine.
Okay,
Everybody's fine.
everything's fine. He was still sleeping when I started, and so now, yeah, he slept until 10 AM. He will sleep all day if I let him, which sometimes I do because it makes my life easier.
You're like, the man child definitely needs more rest. So we're just gonna
Yeah.
keep moving forward while he rests.
I need more peace. Okay, Michelle says that the first time she bought half a cow, it tasted horrible and never got the bones. Gosh, so annoying. Okay,
Yeah.
and so I'm really hopeful that this next one that we get is going to be a lot better. And I don't know what it was about the first one because hormones can do weird things to the flavor.
Sure.
It's like maybe the cow saw a pretty girl. I don't know if it was a female or a male. It tasted so bad. I think it was probably a male. Anyways, I just assumed it was. I just realized that I just assumed that it was a male cow. Anyways,
Don't
but
assume
it's
gender.
also a really small cow, and so like the ribeye steaks were like this big. It was so bad. It was so bad. Anyways, that's enough about that.
It could have been a super young cow then if the ribeyes were so small. And I feel like they're very energetic.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I feel like some calves are more energetic, so maybe it was just a lot leaner in general.
It was definitely leaner, and it was 100% grass-fed, which that can have but I've had really good 100% grass-fed beef also. So it's
like
not
grass finished.
Yes, grass finished.
Yeah.
100% from start to finish.
Got it.
And this one that I ordered the way she described it is it's not 100% grass fed, but it's not as much grain as a typical grain finished beef.
Sure.
They use a pretty minimal amount, but they use it kind of strategically. And I'm happy with that. Like, I think it's fine for cows to have some grain.
Well, the way that they go through and like consume that, and then they process it through their stomachs and all of the chewing
and the benefits to the meat flavor and overall, like it's worth it to me.
Yeah. So the cow that we bought, so the farmer, he does grass fed, like lets them just free graze his property until about a month before he's ready to send them to slaughter. And then he feeds them. And I tell you what, this beef was so good.
Yeah.
It was delicious beyond compare. And his son goes to church with us, and his son recommended to us, y'all should try to eat the ground beef first because it has had more exposure to air, even though it's, processed properly, but it tends to lose its flavor in the deep freeze faster than like the roasts and the steaks. So I think that's part of the reason why I haven't like pulled out roasts to cook roasts. So that I can like try to, work through the meat that's probably like, I don't know, gonna lose flavor faster.
Yeah.
And I could be way off on that. We have other friends who have ordered from this specific farmer friend, and they're like, yeah, we just eat all the steaks first because we just really want to live high on the cow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then they're sad whenever they're out of cow steaks. They're just like, it's a good time.
That's how I feel. When I'm out of steaks, I cry.
Well, and then I'm like, okay, so I'm only ever going to cook steaks from the deep freeze when Jared's home. That way it's like we all get to enjoy the best part of it. But I'll use up the ground beef with no concern with whether or not he's like on a trip or not, it's just glorious that way. Also I did that marrow. I roasted the marrow and shared that.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Have you ever done the whipped marrow?
No, I have not done that. The bones that I roasted were small to the point where it was like just enough for me to just like enjoy for that meal. And then I saved a little bit of it, but then I was like, nah, we're going to eat it.
Yeah. So when Levi was little bitty and I discovered his egg allergy, because I normally, one of the first foods, if not the first food I give my babies is egg yolk mashed, sometimes with avocado or whatever. Of course, I did that with him and found out that was a no-go. But after that, and he was having really bad eczema. So I was trying to just get him all the nutrients. And so I made him bone marrow, and I did the whipped marrow. And then when you put it in the fridge, it like hardens up kind of like butter.
Yeah.
And I would just like scoop out little balls of it and put it on his tray. And he thought it was candy. It was so good.
I mean, that's because it is.
Yeah.
Carnivore candy.
It acts like butter.
Michelle is agreeing that baby Peyton, she loves the marrow butter. It's fantastic.
Yes, because she's right.
I mean, it's amazing, right? I have to start incorporating more of our organs. I've got some liver, like they cut it up into some chunks. And so I've got part of a liver in one packet and then part of a liver in another packet. And so like I've got them kind of divided out to where I can just like pull part of it and use part of it. And I'm debating on how I want to do that. I purposefully didn't have them grinded up into our ground beef. That way I could choose, since I can grind with my meat grinder. And this one pouch of liver, it like got a little tear in it when we were bringing it back. So I need to get that one used. And so I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to like bread and flour it like with the Carnivore Crisps flour and then, serve it with sauteed onions and some gravy or something? Like, how are we going to do this to make it, as child friendly as possible? But then I also I really liked the idea of like chopping it up into tiny little swallowable cubes. I think, did Nisha suggest that with liver? Like keeping them chopped up into tiny little
like frozen raw or
frozen raw.
Yeah, that's been around since like a long time. And I tried it back in my paleo days. It didn't go very well.
It didn't take.
No, I tried that before it was cool.
I think, I had not heard of that technique until I think it was a video Nisha shared that she would, I'm not saying she created that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just surprised that she does that. Does she?
She suggested that as an option. Maybe it was on like a live that she was doing and somebody asked how to take liver. Because I highly doubt that I could find her saying it again. So I was like, well, maybe I should try that. But I actually don't mind adding liver to stuff. So
if I have the option, I will probably have them grind it into the ground beef just so it's done.
One less step.
We're going to consume it and I don't have to do anything with it.
Yeah.
That's solid. I think, you know what? I tried really, really hard to like liver. And this again was back in my paleo days before, carnivore was really a thing.
Yeah.
I was eating liver. I tried to eat it first thing when I was really hungry because there was the technique of if you're really hungry and then you eat something, your body's like, oh, we like this. And then you'll like it. I tried that. I tried doing it in different recipes. I tried soaking it in milk. I tried soaking it in lemon juice. I tried everything. I tried the frozen poppers. I'm like, I'm done. Because there's this like this attitude with certain things like this where if it's something really healthy, it's like there's something wrong with you that is fixable that will cause you to like it.
Sure.
It's like your body wants this. There's just something in the way. There's something you have to get over, and then your body will crave it. And I'm like, I gave it my best shot.
The only thing that's ever worked for is chocolate. It's so good for us with the antioxidants and the pleasure sensories. So
But I don't really
Really?
get it when people are like, "Listen to what your body is craving, and because your body is so smart and knows what it needs, and all you have to do is listen." And I'm like, "My body wants cereal."
And not the
At least
healthy home
my
economist
son
kind.
does, not the good kind.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you ever like read the Healthy Home Economist blog back in the day?
Yes,
Like
I
when she
did.
was explaining how to make infant formula so that you didn't have to buy it. And
Yes.
like, I remember I was pregnant with Caitlin and I was like, what if I can't nurse this baby? Like, what if I cannot breastfeed? Like something mechanically is wrong.
Yeah,
Like how am I gonna nourish my baby? And here I was like the cloth diapering, the elimination communication, and I was like, I'm going to have to make my own formula.
yeah. I did make that. I made the goat milk version because I couldn't
Sure.
get raw cow milk in my area, but I could get raw goat milk. And so I did make it for I think I made it for both Renee and Levi, but only for a really short time because they real quickly can go just to straight raw goat milk when they're a little
Uh,
older. And so I
sure.
didn't have to do it for very long because I did have breastfeeding issues with both of them. Little
Mm.
turkeys.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues. I wound up with massive oversupply,
Wonderful.
so
That's so
that was.
wonderful. Yeah, it's
We all
great.
have our own crosses to bear. I'm just
It's
saying.
true. It's true. It's very true. And like I breastfed fine for, well, Talia and Charity both. Nothing. Easy. And then Levi and Renee, well, their main problem was they got addicted to their thumbs. And then they were
Oh,
like, I'll just
lazy
soothe
nursing.
myself. Well, and Levi also enjoyed biting. So
Oh, yeah, that's a hard pass.
yeah, my girls didn't really get into that too much. Like they learned pretty fast, do it one time and realize that that's not something they want to do again. Levi,
Yep.
not so much. He's like, "Oh, this is fun."
Seems like he's seen or sensory seeking. Like,
Yes, or reaction seeking.
oh,
I don't
possibly.
know. I don't know.
Ugh.
Oh, the joy.
Francesca had an idea: dehydrate powder and then put the liver into capsules to swallow.
Yeah,
Definitely have that capacity as well. I
yeah,
think that at this point, like adding it to your ground meat is probably less time, um, time, what's the word? Intensive. That's the word I'm looking for. So, but you
yes.
can certainly go that
Okay,
direction if you
I have a
really
question
want to
for
have
you.
it.
I have a question for you, and it might be too personal. So feel free to say if it is and you don't want to answer.
Fine, and I'll tell you if it's too personal.
It has to do with having babies and the placenta.
Oh, so no,
Is
we
that too
never took,
personal?
nope, I never got hold of my placentas. I never encapsulated them or did
Okay.
anything like that. But I also had 3 C-sections after having like, all of the things pumped through me. And I
Yes,
was
yes,
not,
that
and
makes
I
sense.
also, I mean, Jared could probably have a better, like a more clear vantage point, but I don't
Mhm.
think I ever was truly like hardcore baby blues after the girls were born. I think I
Okay.
felt better after they were delivered
Mhm.
in general. Like I was exhausted, not,
Yeah,
no doubt about that. Nobody ever slept,
right.
but I didn't have like the feelings of just like depressed or
Right.
like just baby blues afterwards. But like I said, Jared could probably speak more to that. I don't know.
Yeah, so I did the encapsulation thing one time. So talking about taking the liver and dehydrating it and powdering it, that's what I did. It felt so wrong, but I took it. I don't know that it really made any difference for
Yeah.
me, but who knows?
Well, I mean, and you think about
I
it,
didn't That was on Renee, and then I didn't do it the last time with Levi. I just decided it wasn't worth it.
the juice is not worth the squeeze on this
Yeah.
one.
I thought it was gonna be some magical thing where I'd feel on top of the world, and I was like, "Well, I guess not."
And I think that different females have different chemistry to where like
Oh,
some
yeah.
of them it impacts them super positively. And
Yes.
I just I never thought to go that direction. I mean, like I'd heard all about it and everything, but I wasn't using a doula. I wasn't using a midwife. We were using conventional medicine to deliver the babies. So it was one of those things that just sort of stayed, not in my scope of what I was trying to get done there. But I mean, I don't begrudge anybody who chooses to do it. Animals eat their own placentas, like,
Yeah.
oh, so
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't do
there's
that.
that.
Like I've heard stories of, real women that do that kind of thing. Sorry.
I birthed
I'm
3
not
humans.
real.
I
Yeah.
guess that's not real enough.
Yeah. All right. Michelle took her placenta home. She made it. It's hers.
Huzzah!
So Michelle, did you do the encapsulation thing? Did you do something with it? Did on display? Okay. Now we need to
Wait.
know about this.
Okay, but hold on. I'm going to put a pin in that because Jared did ask some solid question situations prior to that.
Okay,
So
I missed those.
Don't want to derail too hard.
Okay.
He
Serious
said
question.
he has a serious question for us. Why is it so important to use good salt, such as Redmond real salt, which comes from the Salt Lake, the mines over there in the Utah? But most folks he watches on YouTube don't have the same concern for other seasonings, such as like black pepper. Is that what he said? Such as black pepper, which may contain unhealthy ingredients.
Good question.
Solid.
So, does black pepper contain unhealthy ingredients?
I think that there is allowance within the spice and seasonings realm where they can choose to not disclose 100% of the ingredients used to get there. And they can have a variety of other ingredients that are not labeled. So I think that there is
something
the
beyond
possibility.
natural flavors.
I
Like
don't
just
know.
not on the label at all.
I don't know, but there have been. I know that either he has watched a video and I've overheard it, or I had watched some sort of a video where people talked about the fact that like there's not good ingredients used in the processing of those type deals. Maybe he is still here. I don't know. He said he had another call to be on at 1:00. So perhaps.
Yes.
Miriam says that it's probably the same as in other manufacturing. If it's under a certain percentage, they don't have to label it. So I don't know how Redmond goes through and manages their variety of spices and seasoning mixes that they put on their website, but I feel confident knowing that they have sound practices for the rest of their ingredients or the rest of their product line. So I personally choose to trust them in what they put out there. I could be wrong. There could be that. We could just not add any seasonings whatsoever and only dehydrate our own onions, dehydrate our own garlic, grow our own peppercorns, grind them up ourselves. We could very much so do that. But at some point, you have to choose what's worth it for sanity's sake and for pocketbook's sake. So
I also think one of the big reasons that we love Redmond real salt is because it has all of the other trace minerals in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to get those, the amount that we need for our body. And so if you're not getting it, you can be deficient in certain minerals. And so once we get so it's more about like what it's adding rather than like it's clean. It doesn't like more about what it's adding than about what it doesn't have in it. Like, cause I will use a seasoning, and this is just for me. I'm just saying for me. I will use a seasoning that has a little bit of maltodextrin in it, or I don't know. Even there's some seasonings that have like sunflower oil or something. And it's like such a microscopic amount because it's in a seasoning. It's not like it's a bottle of oil. And I'm not worried about those microscopic little things as much as I'm worried about covering my bases for the nutrients and the nutrition. And with salt, it's something we add to almost everything. So if your salt is on point, like there's wiggle room for other little things here and there that may like Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning has silica dioxide, which I don't really know exactly what that is. I just know
I
it's
think that's supposed to go on your face to make sure
weird.
that makeup doesn't sink in your pores.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know it's
That's the
used
only
a
thing I know
lot
that it
in a
does.
lot of things. It's an anti-caking agent. So anyways, so I'm like, I'm not as worried about making sure every single spice is 100% clean and perfect. I'm more worried about covering my nutrient and mineral bases. And then I feel like if I do that, a little bit of,
Overcome any of those issues.
unhealthy ingredients here and there is not really going to affect me too terribly.
Sure.
Personal. Yeah.
Sure.
It is interesting to find out about like the manufacturing though. And because if you see a black pepper and it says ingredients black pepper,
you assume it's just black pepper.
Exactly. It would be good to know if there's really something else in there so I can actually make an informed decision. Anyways, go ahead.
For sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. So he just popped in a clarification. It had something to do with using peppercorns, like whole peppercorns, instead of using already pre-ground black pepper. So you were watching that video, right, babe? And keeping it from caking up. So it's like those anti-caking agents may not always have to be added or to the labels, even if it is just pure black pepper ground up.
Which they wouldn't use in a pepper if you bought a bottle of peppercorns.
Right.
So if you want to be on the safe side, just go with the peppercorns and grind them yourself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we all decide, what's worth it and what's not based on convenience and other factors. And, where our health is. 'Cause for some people, their health is at a place where they have to be really meticulous with all of those little things. And then others, not as much.
Sure. And I tell you what, I don't tend to use a lot of pre-made blends of seasonings and spices. I tend to just like throw in individual ingredient ones, but thinking about the anti-caking agents does kind of like make you think, okay, even though I feel like I'm doing all single ingredients, maybe even going further. But also at some point you have to realize like the time and effort and energy put into always being constantly vigilant with those like minuscule things. Like they're important, but they're not as important as like trying to get everybody up on their protein and trying to make sure like, it's kind of like, where does it fall in the list of priorities?
Yes. It's like
or the
micro
scale
versus macro.
Yeah. But all of that to say, I mean, like there have been numerous seasons where I go through and I will be super hyper diligent and vigilant with like, okay, we're not buying any pre-made anything. I'm going to make it all from scratch. And then life gets a little bit busier. And then I have to rely a little bit more on specific types of convenience items. Like at home, I can make the girls their snacks. But whenever things get faster and more activities and constantly in the car going and going and going, or having to focus on let's get some schoolwork done and then let's do this thing and then we have to leave to go do this, having a prepackaged snack makes my life not so stressful to the point where I snap at every little thing because of the stress rather than because of like hormones.
Yeah, it's where we look at the overall picture of our life and not just like get micro in on these tiny little ingredients and be like, if I could just get all of the silica dioxide out of my diet, everything would be good. It's like, well, maybe, I don't know, but probably not.
Unless you have a specific allergy to it and have no clue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like sometimes it is like one thing that you're allergic to that is giving you all these problems. But a lot of times with things like that, it's like, yes, it would be great to get rid of all the microplastics. It would be great to have all of our seasonings grown ourselves, organically and dried and milled all ourselves. That would be great, but it's not realistic. I was talking to Jeff about this yesterday. We were talking about Andrew Huberman.
I was actually thinking, are we going to talk about the Hubes today? Because I was just listening to a Q&A.
Yeah. Well, and because he was saying that he doesn't really like listening to Andrew Huberman. And it's not because he doesn't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but because it's so the words he used was out of touch. Like
Sure.
to live the way that he recommends, like Jeff said, the only way you can do that is if you make your living that way, and
Yeah.
sharing it on YouTube, or like, getting 10 hours of sleep and doing, all of these things. And so, and
If
not
you
that
live
they're
that
not
way
scientifically sound, it's
and don't
that
have
it's not realistic. So with the spice thing, it's not that I think those additives are good necessarily, but let's be realistic, and let's be, have it be an approachable way of life.
Sure. I also I agree with that take completely from Jeff, because like you listen to the Hubes and you're like, "Oh, I can solve all my problems." But wait, I live in a world where I'm not the only one inputting information. I
Yes. I'm gonna
have
get rid of my kid.
children, yeah, husband, family outside of my immediate family. I've got, like my community, my friends, like there's outside inputs that you have zero control over. So to sit there and say I can completely control all of this means what? In the scheme of things.
Yes.
And I also think that we can kind of get into a headspace where we have to be perfect at everything instead
Yes.
of just picking and choosing. Okay, like right now I can focus on this thing and this thing, but I'm going to have to leave this group of things alone for now. Even though I find the whole thing important, I cannot, in my human body and mind, be able to do all of them consistently, perfectly. I'm not a machine. I can't do
Correct.
it. I still have to deal with the real world.
Right. Yeah, and I also tend to um focus in on one or two things, and then the other things in my life are like totally out of control. So like what
Mhm.
I'm trying to work on is having everything managed without
Sure.
obsessing about one or two specific things.
Mhm.
Because it's like, I could like really go hard on making sure my diet is perfect and obsess about it and like count my macros and count everything I eat and time it exactly perfectly. And I could spend all of my energy on that while, my kids are not being schooled.
Or the
Like,
laundry doesn't get done.
or the like the pile of laundry, and like with YouTube, people will be like, "How do you do it all?" And I'm like, I don't." Like, and so it's definitely a skill, because it's way easier to do things you're super passionate about. And I am not super passionate about everything all at once. I'm super passionate about one thing at a time. And when I allow myself just to like get buried in that, I end up letting other things go too far downhill. So I'm trying, that's what I'm working on right now, is maintaining consistency in all the little things,
Mhm. Mhm.
not worrying that they're not all perfect, but also not letting them go too far the other direction.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do struggle frequently, Jared will attest to this, with getting hyper fixated on one thing and then completely ignoring what I had planned for the rest of that time. Prime example, I was playing around with a waffle recipe for the girls because I was trying to get texture closer to what like just a regular flour waffle would be. And all of my previous attempts, they've not been received with enthusiasm. So I was trying to do that. And I had it planned out like, okay, we're starting school at this time today. We're doing this, we're doing this. And then because the project, I had thought it through to a certain point and then just decided to execute it. And it didn't quite execute the same way that I thought it would. And I made some chemical, like some chemistry errors or some oversights. I had some chemistry oversights. And that caused some issues. But then it's like, oh, but you're supposed to be like doing these things right now. And he's like, hey, weren't you thinking about doing this at this time? And it's like, yeah, okay. I got stuck in the cycle of like becoming passionate about one thing and hyper fixating on one thing instead of remembering like time is a real piece of the puzzle that keeps moving even whenever my passion just stops on this one thing.
Okay. I'm going to get hyper fixated and passionate about being consistent in all of the little things. I'm going to nail it. I am going to do it better than anyone has ever done anything.
That sounds amazing. I don't think my hyperfixation works that way.
Dang it. Why?
I can't tell it what to do.
The Keto Road is here.
Hello, Jonathan Shane.
Jonathan Shane. Aren't the new Keto Chow core flavors amazing?
They sure
for anyone that's late, I taste tested them, the stevia ones, on the live stream.
Mind the packaging. The packaging is the key.
Very important.
These
Okay,
are
strawberry, like
slaps.
Awesome. So good. Okay. So for the core flavors, I feel like chocolate and strawberry are so different of flavors that I can't just pick one I like better. I think I like both of them equally.
I can pick.
But the strawberry is so good. So good. The vanilla is also good. It also has that vanilla cream flavor. And I love that it's like a base where you could add anything to it to make it any flavor you want.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
This will still be my favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
It's
so good.
Chocolate.
Why is it so good?
I feel like my hopes and dreams were fulfilled when they came out with the big bag of core chocolate.
Yes, I ordered two.
That was my happiness. So
yeah. So I am going to be placing an order as soon as my budget rolls around to September.
Right.
Because on my August grocery budget, I already ordered 2 bags of chocolate core. So I can't order any more keto chow in my August grocery budget.
So I ordered.
September is going to be some vanilla and strawberry. Faux show.
So on my recent order from Keto Chow, I did Keto Chow core, stevia chocolate.
Of course.
In the big bag. Obviously, I got more blueberry pie because I was down to my very last serving, and that one does say seasonal on it. And I'm like,
did you hear the news though?
No.
Chris said in the live stream today that it is now a permanent flavor.
Okay, we're all good. We can relax.
Yes,
my 2
everything's
favorite
fine. But at least you ordered, so you're safe no matter what.
And then I decided to order banana. And Jared, he decided that he was going to make a banana flavor and a chocolate flavor, like just regular chocolate. And then he wanted to see what they would taste like together. And so he basically turned them into a chunky monkey thing, which I'm sure most people like out there in the experimentation with keto chow flavors have done. And I tell you what, that was mighty tasty. So the chunky monkey of keto chow situation. That is delightful. Yes.
So Jeff loves the chocolate peanut butter. Like, who doesn't? Seriously. But he doesn't like any fruity flavors. He likes the chocolate flavors. He likes the caramel flavors. I gave him snickerdoodle. He liked that. But basically what I've been trying to do is like figure out which flavors I can turn into chocolate peanut butter. Like cookies and cream, I can turn that into chocolate peanut butter.
Nice.
I took the snickerdoodle yesterday and just added peanut powder. And so it was like a cinnamon peanut butter. He
just
really
call it Mexican peanut butter.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, like cinnamon and peanut butter goes together, but what has cinnamon and peanut butter in it? Like what? I don't know. It just seemed. It seems
like the cookie butters. They've got that, but it's not peanuts.
Yeah.
So it's more like a cookie butter.
Okay, we'll call it cookie butter.
I think that's genius.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna trademark it.
Stamp.
Yeah. So anyways, that was a really good one. So I'm just basically finding all the pina colada real hard to turn into chocolate peanut butter.
That one's pretty strong on the coconuttiness and the fruity flavor.
Yeah, but you could do salted caramel with the peanut powder and it just minus the chocolate flavor, but Of course, you could add cocoa if you want. But anyways,
Who doesn't want
my
more chocolate?
experimentation. Well, that's true. That's true. But anyways, if anyone wants the cookie butter, the peanut butter powder with the snickerdoodle, do it. Okay, we got some wise words from my brother. This is my brother Halden. 100%.
Hi, Halden.
We can't optimize everything in our lives. It's always a matter of determining what are boulders and what are pebbles and putting our focus on the boulders. So true. And you see the people that like are just digging in the pebbles all the time and they've got these giant boulders and you're like, come on, man. Come on.
So where does Halden fall in the lineup? Older or
He is
younger?
the oldest.
Oldest.
So he's
okay.
number 1, I'm number 2.
We're gonna kick the whoopsie out of you.
Yeah, so we had a barbecue.
I was not a cheerleader.
We had a barbecue this past weekend because my dad and stepmom were in town, and Halden made smoked eye of round and smoked pork loin. And they were, oh my gosh, so good. So good.
It sounds delicious. It just sounds like beef deliciousness in my face.
Here's Jonathan Shane's opinion on the balance. Balance is bullcrap, different priorities for different seasons. I agree with that, although I have certain priorities that have to be for all seasons, like children.
Laundry.
Laundry, dishes. I feel like as a stay-at-home mom, a housewife, there are certain things that don't have seasons. It's just never ending.
Brushing your teeth doesn't have a season.
Yeah. So there's our opinion. And so like
all season
maybe that's a better way to think about it. Like making sure we know what's a season thing. And so we're not feeling guilty about not doing something that is not the season for. And then knowing what is just an all the time, every day for the rest of your life thing. Like brushing your teeth. There's no seasons for that. You just do it.
But to Jonathan's point, like there's a season for training, there's a season for competing, and there's a season for recovery, right? You're not going to go into recovery mode until after competition. So I fully agree that there is a certain genre of seasons that must be managed appropriately.
Yes. And I think, wisdom is involved in knowing what season you're in and what season you're not. Okay. What are you laughing at?
We love Jonathan. We know he's not. We know he's just fiery like Lindsay. So.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not chunky monkey because there's like a banana breadness to it. So if we add like pecan butter for the fat, maybe then it could be chunky monkey.
Yeah. Or you could just make it into ice cream and add nuts as the add-in.
Well, we're all done here, folks. We'll see you later.
Does chunky monkey have pretzel in it? Or is that something?
So I think we need a solid search. Let's do it. Chunky. I speak it. Chunky monkey.
Try cookie butter keto chow. I want to know. Sherry Watkins is here. Better late than never. Oh, Miriam is number 2 in her family as well. And
I'm number 1.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
I know. I get it. Thanks. So I guess it's just supposed to be like banana flavored with chocolate chips, almond fudge, or almonds and a fudge ribbon. That's in one, but it's like technically, oh no, go backwards, computer.
I never picked banana flavored ice cream when I don't do that.
Oh,
I don't even like chocolate plus fruit. Like if there's just a chocolate option, I will pick that every time over the chocolate plus fruit.
So like no chocolate covered strawberries.
I mean, I would eat a chocolate covered strawberry, but if there was an ice cream flavor of chocolate strawberry, I'm not picking it. I'll pick chocolate peanut butter. I'll pick plain chocolate. I'll pick double chocolate. Yeah. But chocolate plus fruit, it's never been my thing.
So it says Chunky Monkey, according to the Ben and Jerry's flavor profile, is banana ice cream with fudge chunks and walnuts.
Okay.
So that's like definitively what the trademarked
Walnuts. That sounds right.
Chunky Monkey flavor is.
Okay.
What are we
Yeah,
doing?
you can totally do that with a keto chow.
Oh, 10 out of 10. I do really like the concept of snickerdoodle and peanut butter being a cookie butter flavor.
Yeah, try it.
Solid.
Try it. Okay. Barking Squirrel is asking about the pina colada, that it tastes strongly of pineapple, but not much coconut. Does anyone have a fix for this? Coconut extract, I bet, would work. Also, just use coconut oil as your fat. That would make it coconutty.
My taste palette tells me that pina colada tastes hard forward taste of coconut with minimal pineapple on it. But I tend to taste coconut really strong, and it's not my personal favorite flavor profile. So there's that. And Francesca Henderson said, taste buds change on keto. I never would have picked banana before now, but now it sounds heavenly. So whenever she wrote that, I read it as pickled banana.
Pickled banana's best.
I was trying in my brain, like, how do we pickle a banana? What's that going to do? How does that work? Does it break down the sugar?
On YouTube.
Chris, it's official.
What?
The verdict is in.
Well,
we
obviously
all have different tastes.
Chris Fair is wrong because everybody likes every flavor of keto chow. I mean, he's never even gotten a complaint about someone not.
I should have worn my hyperbole t-shirt today.
Say it ain't so. Man, why can't we all?
So Sarah Joe, I am so sorry. I saw you ask this question way earlier and then it flew the brain. Okay, she asks, how much tallow do I use for a keto chow shake? So if I'm just making it to drink, I'll use between 1 and 2 tablespoons or 1 and 2 servings. My Wagyu tallow has 13 grams per serving per tablespoon. So I'll do 26 grams of the Wagyu tallow in that. And it gives it a nice flavor to me, like very donut shoppy. And I just generally like to do like 2 tablespoons for my fat. If I'm adding like cream, which I don't do very often, I will usually add more than that just because I feel like, I don't know, I get heavy handed with cream.
Well, it has less fat per tablespoon, obviously. It's like
valid.
So
yeah,
if you put only 2 tablespoons of cream, it would not be a lot.
Yeah. So
yeah, I also do 2 tablespoons of the tallow. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Here lately, I've been on a kick of doing keto chow hot chocolate with just the original chocolate flavor, not the core flavor, because I had a big bag of regular chocolate opened. And I've been doing butter in that one just because I feel like the richness with the original chocolate is delightful as hot chocolate. And I'll just do 1 tablespoon of butter in that. But I also will only use between 1/3 and 1/2 serving of keto chow in that. Just because, I mean, usually my mug is like, what, 15 ounces. So I don't want to put a whole entire serving into that small of a volume of liquid.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. I'm just sitting here drinking my strawberry because
it's delicious. I actually had strawberry cream corn this morning for my breakfast. It's so good.
So good. All right. Well, we have been on here for 1 hour and 9 minutes.
What?
And we should probably get back to life.
We should.
Beyond the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Is there life beyond the YouTubes?
Sometimes I've heard rumors. So we've really got to go into Mythbuster that situation to determine if it's true or not.
Yes. So you have a video out about the new keto and like everybody else has one.
Yeah.
So you guys can go watch all of those to get everyone's opinion. And then we both have links that will get you 10% off for Keto Chow, and they are one-time use. So if you've already used mine, use Lindsay's. If you've already used Lindsay's, use mine. That'll get you 10% off. And then everybody else that's anybody has one as well. So you can just cycle through and support every single YouTuber, as you place orders.
Not at once. Not at once.
I mean, you could.
Be mindful of your budget.
You could place like 15 orders today and use one each time, but whatever.
Just saying. I'm always like, oh, but if it's not in your budget, please don't spend yourself.
That's always the disclaimer is, we share the things we love, but we don't expect everyone to buy everything every time. Like, that's just not. Where'd you go? Are you still there? Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened.
Well, at least we can hear you.
That was bizarro.
Okay. Anyway, don't buy. We need it.
I can't hear you. What has happened? I don't even know. Am I here?
But I hear myself very, very disturbing.
Oh no. Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. Can you?
I can hear and see you, but you sound robotic. And I am fearful of what might happen if I touch another button.
Okay, Chris Barrett. If you don't support Keto Chow, don't. Okay. We got here. Hearing myself come back to my brain.
And Lindsay is dark.
And we will next Wednesday.
Yep.
Man, I hate that.
It's okay. It's okay. Also, go check out my video where I taste test and create all kinds of kerfluffles for myself.
Yes. And I will have my Wednesday coming out later this afternoon. It's going to have all the details. Very, very full.
Do you see me now?
No.
Oh.
And I still hear yourself. At least this happened right now. Okay. Bye, everybody.